So folks, in this video we're going to look at a third type of simultaneous equation. We've already had one video where we looked at a simple simultaneous equation with just two variables or unknowns, x and y. We've had another video where we looked at three variables or unknowns, x, y, and z. In this one we're going to look at an equation where we have x's and y's, but one or both of those letters is to a power. So let's look. X plus 2y equals 3. X squared minus y squared is equal to 24. So these kinds of equations are slightly different. We don't use the four standard steps that we were using for the other two. Now we do things differently, okay? So what we do in this case is step one, pick a variable that you're going to get rid of, okay? Now how we pick this variable is we're going to rewrite the linear equation. So that's the equation that doesn't have powers in it, this one, in terms of one of our variables. So we'll have, basically, I'm going to rewrite this in terms of x, so I'll bring the 2y across the left hand side. So rewrite linear equation in terms of one variable. Now the reason I'm writing this in terms of x is if I wanted to write in terms of y, this has got a 2 in front of it, I'd end up with a fraction on the right hand side, which is just going to be horrible and make my life difficult, okay? So, x plus 2y is equal to 3. I don't want a 2y on this, I want to get rid of it, so I do the opposite. If it was a plus 2y, it's minus 2y. I do the same to the other side, okay? Just really, really basic stabilizers, okay? So they're gone, so we now have this. We rewrote the linear equation in the form x equals 3 minus 2y. They are the exact same equation. I've just wrote it in a different way. Okay? Step 2, sub our new linear equation into the other line. Okay? So, the other line is x squared minus y squared equals 24. But we know, having rewrote this, what x is equal to. X is equal to 3 minus 2y. So therefore, I can put 3 minus 2y into this equation instead of x. So instead of x squared, I now write 3 minus 2y squared. Minus y squared is equal to 24. Step 3, multiply out brackets. And simplify. So I need to multiply this out. So what is happening here is we have 3, and I'm going to do this out long way. I'm not going to just do it in my head. We're basically told to multiply this by itself. So let's do it. And I'm going to use curly brackets method, or the curly R's method. So everything in this bracket must be multiplied by everything in this bracket. So first thing we do is multiply 3 by 3. It's going to give me 9. But we're also multiplying 3 by the minus 2. Because we said everything in this by everything in this. Well, 3 by minus 2 is minus 6y. But we said everything, so that means I now multiply minus 2y by 3 is minus 6y. And minus 2 by minus 2y is plus 4y squared. What about this y squared? Well, we still have that. That doesn't change. 24. And now we're asked to simplify. So we tidy this up. So 4y squared minus y squared is 3y squared. Minus 6y is minus 12y. Plus 9 is equal to 24. Now, I want to simplify and write as a quadratic. Because what we have here now is a quadratic equation. Alright? So, I want this 24 across the other side. So, stabilizers. How do we get rid of the 24 on the right? We subtract 24. So, you have 3y squared minus 12y plus 9 minus 24 is equal to 0. Okay, well, 24 minus 24 plus 9 is the same as 24 minus 9. 3y squared minus 12y minus 15 is equal to 0. Okay? And now we're going to start solving for this. Alright? So, first thing I would do is I'm going to divide this whole thing by 3. So we get y squared minus 4y minus 5 is equal to 0. And now, step 4, solve and sub back in. So you have a quadratic here, folks. Factors of 5 are 1 and 5. Okay? Because this is a minus, these two signs are going to be different, and we generally give the bigger factor the same sign as the middle. Or to put it another way, we want to add these two numbers together and get minus 4. So that means this has to be a minus and that has to be a plus, because minus 5 plus 1 is minus 4. We're not quite finished yet. 5 minus y equals 0, so y is equal to 5. Y plus 1 is equal to 0. Y equals minus 1. So you have our two solutions for y, 5 and minus 1. And now we sub them back into the first line. Not to this one here, but into this line. So, x plus 2 by 5 is equal to 3, because I subbed in this 5. X plus 10 is equal to 3. Getting rid of the 10. X is equal to 3 minus 10. X is equal to 7. Now we sub in the other one. X plus 2 by minus 1 is equal to 3. And this is where the brackets thing helps. This is a minus value. A lot of the time I see students, when they're subbing numbers in, they forget signs. But when you're putting in brackets, you're less likely to forget a sign, okay? So 2 by minus 1 is minus 2. I don't know why I wrote a minus symbol there twice. Equals 3. I want to get rid of this minus 2, so I add plus 2. X is equal to 3 plus 2. X is equal to 5. So our two sets of solutions are 7, 5, and 5 minus 1. And that, folks, is how you do this. Incidentally, what we actually have here is an equation for a circle and an equation for a line. In my earlier videos, I told you that simultaneous equations are about finding points of intersection. If we have two simple linear simultaneous equations, we're finding out where these two lines cross. In the example that we just did here, we have a line and a circle. Now, wherever a line crosses a circle, it always has 2 points of intersection, unless it's a badly drawn tangent, as I have, that only touches it once. So if you're doing a simultaneous equation like this, where you have a linear equation and then something, an x squared and a y squared, and you get the same answer twice, you haven't necessarily done it wrong. You might have done it wrong, but just as easily you could have a situation like this where you have a line that touches a circle at only 1 point. And you'll generally know if that's the case if after your simultaneous equation there is a question asking you explain what your answer means. So if you're doing this and you only get one answer for a question like this, where you've got a x squared, a y squared, and a number, and then a linear equation, and you only got one value, I'm just making these numbers up here, or rather you got the same value twice, then what that means is it was a tangent. Okay? So I hope this has helped clear things up. I hope that you're doing well. Keep up the good work, and I shall talk to you soon.